Hey everyone. Before I get into the topic of this video, I wanted to first say thank you to the people who gave my community post here on YouTube feedback. I really love and appreciate the folks who have supported me, and I sincerely hope that I can continue to make content that you all like moving forward. Now, as for the topic of this video, this comes from a tweet that I put out a day or so ago. If some recall, I made a video a while back talking about why I've eased up on fighting games, and while that's still the case, there are two that I'll always come back to, and those are Vampire Savior and Virtua Fighter 5 Ultimate Showdown. I'm here today to talk about why I love Vampire Savior. If this gets a decent response, I'll follow this up talking about Virtua Fighter in the same manner, so let's discuss some stuff. Vampire Savior, to me, is as close to being a perfect fighting game as there probably could be. While there are very specific nuances that Vampire Savior has that other games, be they obscure or just outright unknowns comparatively, may have beat them to the punch on, Vampire Savior is the game that brings forward so many aspects to the table in ways that get carried forward into so many fighting games in the current day, and the crazy thing about it is, not all of them are universal mechanics. Some of them are character-specific aspects that have come into their own as universal mechanics in different games moving forward. Universally, you've got air dashing, you've got guard canceling, you've got push blocking, you've got pursuit attacks. You have the option to roll to get up while moving, or you can just wake up neutrally. You have ES moves, which would later be known in most games as EX moves, powered up versions of special moves your character has. You have the chain combo system that would carry over into various Versus titles and would later be condensed and used in different forms in different games. Then there's the Dark Force system, which gives your chosen character a temporary change up in how they play, whether it's something simple like giving someone extra attack options, or completely changing the way a character functions by putting them into some sort of stance. If that sounds familiar, you've probably played Street Fighter V. In universal mechanics alone, Vampire Savior does so much that lends a lot to fighting games already, but it doesn't stop there. Each individual character has their own aspects that make them completely unique. Anakars can dash backward against the wall and slide to the other side of the screen if he's cornered. BB Hood can double jump. Certain characters have hop dashes that let them attack and lay down offensive pressure. Heck, there are a few characters that have air dashes, and every single one of them functions differently on a fundamental level. The game's insane, is what I'm saying, and more importantly, even with all of this, it works. Vampire Savior moves at such an intense pace when two players are clued in on how the game flows that it can seem at times like you've got very little time to breathe and process what's happening. And yeah, until you get used to things, that's 100% how it can feel. But when you get it, when it clicks, you feel it. Whether you're on offense or on defense, once you get things down pat, the times where you literally have absolutely no option to respond with are extremely rare. This makes matches interesting, since they're fast and frantic, and a lot can happen in moment-to-moment instances before you realize it. But when you figure it all out, more and more you can come to the conclusion that if you've been put in a bad situation in a match, it's on you. And as long as you've been managing things well, you can usually find some way out. I feel like this sense of constant player agency is something that a lot of fighting games lack today. It's either too offensively based with little in the way of defensive mechanics to balance things out, or its mechanics are so all over the place that it can be difficult to pin down how a game, quote, should be played, unquote, outside of the way the meta eventually demands it to be. I love Vampire Savior, and I think that a lot more people should, for sure. If it's something you want to give a shot, get your hands on the Capcom Fighting Collection. It's part of that, and everything in there has rollback netcode, so you'll get Vampire Savior's awesomeness as well as a bunch of other really cool games to boot, which you can also play online. That's it from me though. If you've listened to me drone on for this long, thanks a ton. If you like this vid, hit me with your thoughts, and I'll follow up with the Virtua Fighter side of things. Until then, take care of yourselves, and stay awesome, people.